The ones. That's why I was around. Okay, so you always right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's. Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what
That's why
excuse me, somebody writes all that. Is this your phone? You're all there. So. This one. Yes. Put in sign. Your address, you make the city. Just put your address here. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I get this one. Okay. Maybe. Okay, I'm looking, and we are also. Hey.
Smile, Allison.
Smile.
You're a candid photo. Linda's like a smile worth a million. Let me get one more.
Ron,
It looks like Groucho Marx.
that's all right. So we are all So that's why we are also.
And my thing,
So good job.
Today I.
Put a mic.
We fall.
Yeah, almost 17 days. Oh. Yeah, yeah. Good, and eat after my memory. You don't even know, just. Yes, yeah, right.
I know, but it's that changed. You know, that's how we. Right now.
Present. Supervisor Marquez. Present. Supervisor Tam. Present. Supervisor Carson, excused. President Myers.
Here. Join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One day.
Board of Supervisors, welcome. They could keep the noise down, please. The Board of Supervisors welcomes you to its meeting. Board allows in-person and remote observations and participation by members of the public at its meetings. County of Alameda recognizes the important and valuable role of public participation in government. Be reminded that disruptive conduct that renders orderly conduct of the meeting unfeasible will not be tolerated. This includes disruptive conduct that may occur in public comment. Chair will order the removal of individuals who are willfully disrupting the meeting so that the meeting may continue in an orderly manner. For those attending the meeting in person, if you would like to speak to an item on the agenda or during public input, submit a speaker card to the clerk so your name can be called to speak at the appropriate place on the agenda. The clerk will now provide brief instructions on how to verbally participate in public comment through online teleconferencing.
Detailed instructions are provided in the teleconferencing guidelines. A link to the document is included in today's agenda. If you are joining the meeting using a computer, use the button at the bottom of your screen to raise your hand to request to speak. When called to speak, please unmute your microphone and state your name. If you are calling in, dial *9 to raise your hand to speak. When you are called to speak, the host will enable you to speak. If you decide not to speak, notify the clerk when your call is unmuted, or you may simply hang up and dial back into the meeting. As a reminder, you may always just observe the meeting without participating by clicking on the View Now link on the county's webpage at acgov.org. When called, you will have 2 minutes to speak. Please limit your remarks to the time allocated. Public comment will generally alternate between in-person and online speakers as determined by the president of the board and subject to overall time limits. Thank you.
Are there any board remarks? Right. We will now take public comment on items on the agenda, except items listed as 11 o'clock set matters. Public comment on items listed as 11 o'clock will be taken after the item is called for presentation and or discussion. Clerk will now have any public speakers on items on the agenda that are not listed as 11 o'clock set matters.
We do have speakers online and in person. We will start with in person. Please state your name, the city you live in, and which item you are speaking on. You will have 2 minutes to speak.
Mindy.
Hello, Board of Supervisors. My name is Mindy Petchnook. I'm here with Itaka, and I'm also a candidate for State Assembly 18, this district. And I want to start with, we have given to each one of you this complaint issued to Mr. Dupuy, which is going to be filed with the Civil Service Commission. And I would encourage you all to read it very thoroughly, and the action that is needed. Dupuy's incompetence is part of this serious problem. I urge you all to follow through with your heart, to actually go against passing this charter now. And there's 2 things I want to point out. One, our counsel, Donald Sigler, has made a grave error. One, when it was said in the last meeting that Alameda County was the only county that was not in, quote, compliance with the state charter, and that's why we had to do this and rush while we're in the middle of the recall against Pamela Price. That is not true. There are 6 other counties, and I'll give them to you. El Dorado, Placer, Sacramento, San Francisco, San Mateo, Santa Clara County charters deviate from state law. So there is absolutely no rush. And this is election interference. This has been discussed because it would increase the number of signatures that the Pamela Price recall. And people are dying in this city. They're being murdered. They can't live their lives. We have to take this seriously. And I call on Lena, who you are my representative. Lisa, you're not, but you are with us. Nate, Dave, while you're here, this is an important moment. The other thing I just want to say before, also, the question of what it says in section 62.
Nelson, you're online. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Hi, my name is Schaefer Nelson. I live in Oakland. I'm speaking to item 26. I am opposed to the recall of Pamela Price. Many of the signatures were gathered by non-registered voters, and are therefore invalid. That violates the county's charter. And even if that is changed by the voters in March, that will be after these signatures have all been gathered, so they're being gathered under the current charter. So oppose the recall, and just like to remind the board, the signatures gathered by non-registered voters on ballots are on charter. Thank you.
Robert?
Robert Norton?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Robert Norton, Oakland, California. I'm here, I'm against 26B. We don't need more unelected officials not being accountable to the public. And another reason I'm here is because I subpoenaed 2 members of the assessor's office for assessment appeal hearing I had. And they was the board members was from District 1, 2, and 3. And And I wanted to get the testimony from the assessor's office members. I was denied that by the board members. I was denied my constitutional right of due process. These people have submitted fraudulent and deceptive filings with the clerk. Also during the meeting, I asked the board members to grant me opportunity to retrieve and find documents I did not have with me and needed in order to be able to represent a full history and laws for the changes of ownership hearing. The board answer to my request was no. I reminded the board that they had just granted the lawyer in the earlier change of ownership hearing a rescheduling so he could retrieve and find documents to be able to represent a full history and laws. This is exactly what I was asking for. So I said to the board members this, and yet they would not change their ruling. Unfortunately, I had to point out the obvious to the board members, that they had granted a rescheduling for a white man, and I, a black man, was asking for the same thing, and was being denied the opportunity to reschedule my hearing. The board members made the point the documents I needed was not as important as the white lawyer's documents. At some point during this discussion, one of the board members looked at me and said, "We are in court." I repeated to the board members how they was ruling one way for a white man and another way for a black man. I'm sorry. And so I would like to give you guys a copy of this, if I may. And I will be contacting you about this. Thank you.
John, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on. John Lee.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I on?
Please state your name and which item you're speaking on.
Thank you. Jackie Coda, agenda item 26. I would like to draw the attention of the board to the fact that county council is presenting an incomplete picture, being disingenuous, by not apprising the board of the option to seek a judicial ruling before the conclusion of the current recall effort, indicating a willingness to disregard unconstitutional aspects of the charter, such as previous speaker had mentioned. This would satisfy the board's concern about potential challenge to charter rules. It's also very frustrating that it seems like council is trying to pull the wool over the public's eyes, as well as the new supervisors, Ms. Tam and Ms. Marquez. You need to pay attention. They're trying to take the rights of the people away from the people. Council's urging the board to pass a resolution for a ballot amendment, and the ballot amendment says California state law. This is quotes.
applicable to recall of county officers shall govern the recall of county Alameda elected officers. However, in the attachment, it specifically states in there that this no longer allows the county of Alameda appointees to be recalled. So the council is being disingenuous and lying to the public by putting one thing on the agenda and another thing in the attachments. It also states in here that the county charter is out of date. That's not correct. It is fully up to date. Like I said, you could seek relief through judicial recognition for the unconstitutional aspects of it. But it's important for you not to move forward so hastily and take away the rights of the people. Propagating misinformation to the public and to curtail their rights through a ballot vote based on false premises is unacceptable. And I urge especially our new supervisors who are just recently on the board, don't let them fool you this way. And don't let the people have their rights taken away from them that they've enjoyed for almost 100 years. It was so important that an elected body created this charter. Thank you.
Luann?
Good morning. I arrived here for a 9:30 meeting as stated here, but there's only one person sitting here. And many meetings that I've attended online or here, they don't start on time. That would be respectful if you were to start on time. Thank you. I'm here in against 26 because it defaults to the state versus the local. And we have seen this board default for the state before. We saw the board default to the state for the end of the emergency through the health officer. We saw this board give all authority to the health officer and remove it from yourselves. We have seen what can happen when our vote is not listened to, when it's not heard by the people. We expect you to be doing those jobs, not to give them to someone else. We want to review. We want to come to you and say, this is not a good fit here. We don't agree with this fit. And if you don't do that fit, then we want the right to say what happens to us by that appointed individual. Should not be taken away from us. We also showed this when you implemented the oversight committee for the sheriff. There are 5, we vote individually for a sheriff. To add an oversight committee on top of the sheriff is taking away our vote. So continually, the state of California has encouraged you to take away our vote. You do not need to follow the state of California. This is our county, our decisions. That's how the founders, or the elected body, chose to implement that in this county. My next comment is for Mr. Carson, Supervisor Carson. When you were speaking about the founders last time, you said all of them, and made a point of telling us that all of them had slaves. You have your founders mixed up, because this state was founded as a free state, not a slave state. And if there were any founders that wrote something that had slaves, they were unlawful here in this state. So get your stories correct. Federal, state, county. Thank you.
Grave, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Item 26. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So I'm a lifelong resident of Alameda County, been a voter for over 50 years here, since I could first register to vote. And I think that I agree that you, the county supervisor, should be upholding our local laws, and therefore, since our current county charter says regarding the recall process that only Alameda County registered voters can gather signatures for a recall, then I think you should be directing our registered voters to invalidate all of the signatures illegally gathered by those who are not Alameda County registered voters. To help you do your duty, and I trust that you will have all these invalid signatures thrown out
because we must uphold the charter. Thank you very much.
Mike?
Good morning. No on 26. So it should not go on the ballot so that our county falls into the state. What's good for the state may not be good for Alameda County, and I say may. I really believe in the principle of hate the lie, not the liar. And all of you who represent us in Alameda County, I want to respect you for all your service. I really mean from my heart. And there are two rails in life. You know, you have the spiritual side, the moral side, the ethical side, and then you have the physical, you know, the material side, what have you. And many times in our government, it's really more influenced by the material side, the money side, you know? And so just like the mind and body, the mind should guide the body, the morals, you know, the heart, you know, not just living for the moment. And a lot of times there's really selfish reasons for decisions manipulated by others. So of the people, by the people, for the people. And, you know, I met Governor Newsom and before he got elected in a restaurant with my daughter after she graduated from college. And he told me the reason why he got into power was because of Willie Brown. And so, you know, I don't think that's a good motivation. He helped him in that. You know, it's just like there's certain power and things that have been driven. And so the state is not, you know, we should have more autonomy in our own area. And so that's why we hear of the people. And when you think about the Constitution, when you talk to people, we talk about complacency. You know why America is really in trouble now, because we're not involved, individuals, right? And so here we have so many people involved saying no in 26. We want to keep that, you know, personal, you know, like connection, you know, because I can say God loves me more than I love God. I don't know, I can say my country has loved me more. And even here, you know, I really love California. We all do. We don't want to leave. We want to be responsible and truly put God and put the spirit of true love in our decisions. Thank you.
First, you're on the line. Please state what item you're speaking on.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Chris Castrovelli, also item 26. And I also want to reiterate what other people are saying here, that, you know, government is by we the people, for the people. So, and I know people in government, whether elected or appointed, are public servants, and we are supposed to serve the public, not tell the public what to do, but serve the public. And it says in Isaiah 9:6 in the Bible, it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be on his shoulders." Right, so the government, you can't take over the government. The government shall be on the shoulders of the Lord. And so, for that reason, I'm praying for you guys, because I pray for everybody in government to do the right thing and to be righteous. Because to love your neighbor means to pray that your neighbors will spend eternity in the right place. Because I wouldn't want anybody, even any people that I would dislike as an enemy, I would never want them to spend eternity in the wrong place. Because that's a horrible place and you can't get out of it. And eternity is actually a very long time. So I don't like the idea of a person that is in government that is doing the wrong thing and can't be recalled. Because we the people standing up against that and say, no, we have the evidence now that what is being done is wrong. So we pray for that person to do what is right, but also to get out of the way. If she's not doing the right thing, then she should step away. And the government should be, again, for we the people. So please do as we say, because you're the public servants. And we say, do not pass that law, so don't do it. Okay? I pray in the name of Jesus. Thanks. Amen.
Thank you. I'm Deborah Gelber. I'm a resident and voter in Oakland. And I am here to strongly demand that this abolishing of Article 62 that takes the right away from voters to recall Pamela Price, the district attorney, not be taken away from us. And I want to tell you I think a relevant anecdote, personal anecdote. I recently had the chance to spend 2 weeks in Detroit. I was there for a wedding and a friend and a visit for 2 weeks. And, I talked with a lot of people in Detroit, outside of Detroit, whatever. And every time I told them I was from Oakland, California, they would go, "Oh, really? Wow." And I hear that's really bad. Person after person for 2 weeks. I mean, I was personally really shocked because I knew it was bad, but I didn't know what a national disgrace it is. But what people have to go through, the level of crime and the lack of any action in it. So we need a new district attorney. People deserve it, and they have the right to vote for a recall of this. Don't take this right away from us. And so that's what I have to say. And really, I hope that you think about what I said, because maybe people hear things about Detroit, but this place has been turned into a national disgrace. The level of crime is off the charts. So that's what I have to say, and I hope you do take this to heart. We deserve the right to recall this district attorney. Don't take that right away from us.
Caller, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on. Joanna? Please unmute your mic.
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Milana Chitlana. I'm an attorney, a restorative justice circle keeper, and a community advocate living in Oakland. I'm speaking also on item 26. You see, you spend many hours in front of Trader Joe's on Lakeshore Avenue in Oakland watching and talking to folks as they were gathering signatures to recall DA Price. They were all paid signature gatherers who came out of state, and they told me so. And this is a violation of the charter, and it is wrong. It shows that the recall campaign is willing, it shows what the recall campaign is willing to do to unseat DA Pamela Price. You see, the efforts to recall DA Price started from the day she was sworn in. People are blaming her for a waving pride that started way before she was elected, and it continues for reasons outside of her control. Yes, we need to hold our district attorney accountable, but the way to hold her accountable is to see whether her policies and practices are leading to reductions in recidivism as compared to the previous district attorney, and for that, there simply hasn't been enough time. So I'm here to stand with DA Price against recall and to ask all of you to do what's needed to protect the votes of Alameda County residents right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank President Miley and Vice President Halbert for your slowing the roll on item 26. I'm in San Leandro. Supervisor Tam is in my district. And I think that we have to be very careful here about giving the real story. County Council Ziegler is presenting you with two things. The public is being presented with wording that's going to appear on the March ballot, but the board members know that she has clarified that this will in fact take away the people's right to recall appointed officials such as Ms. Ziegler and Ms. Maramishi and a few other people, Dupuy, the registrar of voters. Based on a comment that Supervisor Carson had made, I tried to do a little bit of research at the library to figure out who are these 15 people who convinced the voters 97 years ago to adopt this charter. I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything in the library. I dig through microfiche, I couldn't find anything. But I do know that when you all are running your campaigns for reelection, I will be able to find your names in the Wayback Machine. Instantaneously, I will be able to see that it was Supervisor Lena Tam, Supervisor Elisa Marquez, President Nate Miley, Vice President David Halbert, Supervisor Keith Carson, under the guidance and leadership of the person who's advising them, and that is Ms. Ziegler. All of your names will be on here. I will be able to find this instantaneously. So your opponents who run against you will be able to put a lie to any campaign speech you've made where you say you are for the people. You're not for the people if you're taking away a very important right. Thank you.
John, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Thank you so much. I'm speaking in opposition to item 26. Can you hear me? All right, thank you. Mr. President, I'm a lifelong P5 voter, and I'd like to speak in opposition to item 26. While I'm very sympathetic to decreasing litigation costs, maintaining our target's restriction of petition circulators to county registered voters is a strong policy choice. It helps limit the effect of out-of-state, out-of-county money and large donors in our democracy. It is a very good use of legal resources to defend that position and our charter in court. And I would not urge the amendment of the charter at this time. Thank you very much, and I yield the floor.
Good morning, and thank you Supervisor Tam and Marquez for actually making eye contact with speakers, because the public is here to speak to its public servants. With peace and love, what is it that you think you all are doing by deconstructing the barriers we put between us and tyranny? We don't want to default to the state. This is our county. We've seen over and over again the state of California come in and destroy our communities. They have literally taken a wrecking ball to us these last 3 years. And when you're seeing somebody like me come down here in person as an employer, I'm out there producing tax dollars to run this business you all have going here. I don't need to be here. I'm supposed to trust you to do the job of running this county in a way that doesn't destroy people. And I'm sorry, you two are kind of early. The jury's out on you, but the two of you, Keith Carson and Nate Miley, you've done a lot to destroy people these last 3 years. You, Mr. Miley, have done better. Mr. Carson can't even look up to his constituents when we're speaking to him. And that does not go unnoticed. Over and over and over again. And over time, you're going to see more people like me who have the ability to move things. And even the corrupt Superior Court we have here can't stop us. So it would be advisable to not deconstruct the barrier that sits between us and the state, because Newsom can care less about us. You people care about us. We need you to care about us. And it's not just for me, it's not just for them, it's for your children, for your relatives, and for everybody that has to inherit this legacy. So you have a job to make an important legacy statement.
John, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Councilor, item 26. Just a little bit of housekeeping here first. Behind the signature, but someone not doing it correctly. It was county council Ziegler who pointed out that part of the charter is unconstitutional. All you really need to do is just go and get the short judgment. Because that part of the charter is unconstitutional. And that means that each together is under the California Constitution. And just go ahead and just get that, fixed. Now, back to what I really want to talk about here is that in the past, when the founding of this country, the founders, and even the founders here in California, all realized that government over time, and look at it as civilizations, government over time, tends to forget that they serve the people and start serving them themselves. And that is, it's just, inherent in human nature. But then feel that they have that power and they think they have it. But the California Constitution says that all political power is inherent in the people. And 97 years ago, the people of Alameda County voted a charter then. And instead of having to go to your office, we let that up to the Board of Supervisors. But the people of Alameda County retained the right to recall those people. Even though they did not appoint them, they wanted to be able to recall them. So they kept that in there. And the government, at this point, on the website, they're trying to take that right away from people.
Good morning, supervisors. My name is Mark Zuber, Castro Valley, and I just want to say I'd like to speak to item 26, A and B. Thank you, President Miley and Supervisor Halbert, for your vote of no last Tuesday. I just want to say thank you. I think this is a mess. As you can see, there's a lot of comments. The public is either confused or don't quite understand, or they believe that you are disrupting our election process. To Supervisor Tam and Marquez and Carson, I urge a vote of no today, and President Miley, my supervisor, to vote no, as well as Supervisor Halbert. California Constitution, Article 2, Section 19 covers this, and it specifically allows for charters. We are one of 14 counties that have a charter. And to tag on what others have said, it has been found unconstitutional to require the paid signature gatherers requiring citizenship or voters, registered voters of Alameda County. State constitution says that is not required. So I just want to stress that. So what is happening? We, the people, see this as a election interference. And it's sad, but it's true. And we're as a volunteer of Save Alameda County for everyone, we're approaching 80,000 signatures. We will achieve 110,000, 120,000. We'll deliver those in January if need be. And we cannot see that process moved to require more signatures, delays. It will not be good. So I urge a vote of no, push this into April next summer, and deal with this recall now. Thank you.
Bill User, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on. Bill User, you're on the line. David, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Yes, I am. Am I coming through?
Yes.
Yes, very good. My name is David. I live in Oakland. Speaking in opposition to item 26, I think of the beauty of our constitutional republic of Maine. One is this concept that's laid out nicely in the 10th Amendment, and let me read that and then make a talk about the relationship between the county and the state. So it reads, the power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, but prohibited by it to the state, reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. So our direct analogy would be the power is not delegated to the state of California by the Constitution or prohibited to this, by it to the county, are reserved to the counties respectively, or to the people. We are the people. We have the power as the people to elect our representatives in our constitutional republic, and therefore we also retain the power by the people, of the people, at the county level, to unelect our servants who are not serving our cause and who are not providing the leadership that we elected them to provide. Most importantly, at a position, let's say, for example, as district attorney. So we've seen crime and incivility and so much about our California and our local living run amok and run counter to, I think, any sort of quality of life that people would want to where people would want to live in a place like this. So opposing 26.
Christian?
Good morning. First, I'd like to let you know I'm speaking in opposition to item number 26. First, I'd like to let you know I am aware of the maladministration complaint for submission to the Alameda County Civil Service Commission against the director of the Registrar of Voters, Tim Dupuy, and the letter of intent to recall Mr. Dupuy along with the numerous signatures already attained in this process. I have brought each of you copies of the California State Constitution with Article 2, Section 19 earmarked, which clearly exempts counties and cities whose charters provide for recall from state control over said process. I would like to recognize Supervisors Halbert and Miley for your astute understanding that any proposed amendments to Section 62 of the county charter should not be brought before the electorate at this time. Supervisor Tam and Supervisor Marquez, there is time to thoroughly assess Section 62 and surgically amend portions of the charter deemed constitutionally questionable. Furthermore, the Board of Supervisors currently has the option of finding legal remedy within the Superior Court. As you know, the court may issue a judicial ruling recognizing the county's willingness to disregard the very limited constitutionally questionable petition aspects of the charter. As your colleagues have reasoned, a rush to curtail the voters' rights will not be well received by the electorate. We have watched and heard an extremely diverse citizenry come to this chamber to offer the board assistance, voice their grave concerns concerning a vast array of the ROV's failure to ensure lawful, accurate, honest, transparent, and timely election processes. Our most sacred right as citizens, the right to vote and have that vote counted according to these election tenets. Dupuy's maladministration illustrates the exact necessity for Section 62, protecting the people's right to recall appointed officials. Here's the truth. Abolishing Section 62 and aligning with the state recall process forfeits the power of the people to recall appointed officials and eliminates their right to elect a replacement candidate.
55 signatures in one day on the Dupuy recall. We'll get more very, very quickly.
Hello? You're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Yes, this is Laurel, and I'm in to say no to 26. Adding my voice to the other esteemed speakers, the people are speaking. No on 26. Do not remove our rights, voters' rights, citizens' rights to a recall. Thank you.
Edward Escobar.
Hi, I'm Edward Escobar. I'm the founder of Citizens Unite and also a participating member in the Coalition for Community Engagement. We are extremely concerned about the proposed amendment that would change the recall procedures in Alameda County. This affects the democratic rights of residents and the accountability of county officials. The amendment was initiated by the county's lawyer, Donna Ziegler, seated right over here, who claimed the current recall rules were outdated and problematic. She said the county's laws were a detriment to ensuring lawful, competent, and timely recalls. However, many residents and groups opposed this amendment, calling it a blatant power grab that eliminates the public's right to recall appointed county officers, including the county administrator, the registrar of voters, and even the county council, Donna Ziegler herself, who are among the highest paid and most powerful local government employees. They are not elected by the people and should not be immune from the people's scrutiny and judgment. The Alameda County Taxpayers Association, whose attorney Jason Bessis said this amendment was much, much, much more extensive than the county is presenting to the public and overreaching in what they're trying to do. We call for the dismissal of County Registrar of Voters Tim Dupuy over election integrity concerns. Dupuy mismanaged the 2020 election, failing to protect voting rights and violating state law. This amendment also affects the ongoing recall efforts against Pamela Price, the overly reform-minded district attorney heavily criticized for ethical concerns and her approach to extreme reduced sentencing. This amendment makes it harder and more expensive for the public to initiate and complete a recall campaign against her or any other elected county officials. Supervisors, you need to step up or be prepared to also be recalled. You're put on notice.
Caller, you're on the line. Please state your name, which item you're speaking on. And Greg, you're on the line. Caller, we can't hear you. You will need to turn your volume up on your system. Phone user, we're going to try this again. You're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on. Please unmute your mic.
Chris Moore.
Hello, Chris Moore with SAFE. What I wanted to talk about today is just reaffirming. The ROB has indicated SAFE needs to file 73,195 signatures. We will file over 100,000 well before March. And it'll be prior to any charter amendment that is being discussed today. And therefore, this election and the special election that will come of that will happen under Section 62, under the county charter. And so what and actually it'll happen well before even the end of, probably will happen in early The special election itself will likely happen in early April, probably before the board here will even certify the March 5th election, by the time the Secretary of State as well. So what we are asking is, please ensure that the Register of Voters and the County Council prepare for the recall under the county charter, Section 62. It's required in the county charter under 62 that this board is to fund the ROV and to conduct that election and conduct the counting of the signatures. So if this meeting or the next meeting requests that the ROV provide a budget of what that's going to cost so you can fund it and ensure it happens. And then lastly, we've requested a meeting, and Supervisor Halbert, we've requested that the ROV and the County Council meet with SAFE. We did get a reply about a little over 2 weeks ago, but no scheduled meeting. And we'd like the board to request that because we want to sit down and ensure this happens, ensure the right of the people. We want to stop this problem. You guys can see crime was going down in Oakland in January. Now it's significantly out of control because of the policies of Pamela Price. Thank you.
Kelly, you're on the line, please state which item you're speaking on.
I am speaking on item 26. Your county council that put this on the agenda for this board didn't provide your board with an independent analysis of the proposed changes. She gave her own biased and very partial, very self-serving analysis. She hid her effort to make herself unrecallable. So this proposed amendment would take power away from the voters by giving supervisors the power to appoint a replacement instead of leaving it up to the voters. It also makes appointed officials unrecallable, and this is a loss of local control, of an abandonment of home rule. Alameda County is very proud of its special status as a charter county, and this would throw that, the wholesale trashing of the county recall ordinance would abrogate our special status as a charter county. All that's needed are some technical adjustments here, and Section 62 can be preserved almost in its entirety and probably doesn't even need to go to the ballot. Just implement it. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Brenda Grisham. I'm here once again, speaking on item 26, the amendment to the recall process. Your job as the Board of Supervisors is to uphold the rights of the citizens of Alameda County. I'm African American, so we can't use that. I'm an advocate for the families, and I also am a speaker for ceasefire. So that is my input to keep our Black and brown young men and women out of prison. So I work on both sides. This whole process was started disrespectful. As the primary officer for SAFE, I found out about the amendment from the press. You guys didn't even give us the respect to let us know that you thought something was wrong. And who gave you the authority to feel that that was something wrong right now, after there was an active recall, which everybody acts like they had no idea this was going on? As I said the first time, that is interference in what the citizens of Alameda County want done. And that's your job to uphold their rights. And that's not what's going on. This has created a mess. You, Ziegler, have pointed out things in the charter that shouldn't even be talked about right now. Your job as the county council is to uphold the rights just like anybody else. But you're pointing out stuff that shouldn't even be in existence right now. What needs to be done, if you felt that is wrong, think about it later. See what's going on now. When the recall is over, you guys sit down as an organization and see what needs to be done to make it right the next time. Because we will recall Pamela Price. With your help or without your help, it's going to be done for the citizens of Alameda County.
Allison Hayden.
Thank you. From Hayward, speaking on item 26, blessing you supervisors. The single power of America is the vote of the people. We put representatives in place to protect our unalienable right, the right to choose. And we choose who represents us. Item 26, this recall, change of the recall provisions of our charter is going to remove that ability of the local, of the people, the populace, to remove or recall people who are either appointed or elected who are not serving the interests of the people, are not doing the job. So there's no reason at all to change the provisions of Section 62. It, as was already said, the people drafting this change are themselves subject to that. And therefore, I have today submitted to them notice of our intent to recall both the council, Ziegler, and the chief administrative officer, Marinashi, because this is a conflict of interest and clearly they are not serving the interests of the people. Not only that, the drafting and permitting of false information regarding facts and questions on this was allowed by them. That's in their purview. They're allowing refusals to provide requested public information. I've requested many things. I don't get that. The registrar was allowed to diminish and make excessive costs. They impose an untenable burden on the public in violation of policy during COVID. There are many things that they need to be called account to. Thank you.
Orlando, you're on the line. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Item 26. I'm Orlando Johnson. I'm a member of Oakland Community Action Network, Oakland Green Party, Alameda County Council, Green Party Credential Committee. I've been in Oakland 50 years, and I believe for this call that we call on Pamela Price, I believe it's ridiculous for grown folks to really have confusion for our younger folks on the political process that they don't understand. You got people like Dave and Dave Malley and everybody that do hard work behind the scenes. But y'all can come out here and totally disrespect the hard work that their families and their close friends respect them for the hard work they do. In my sense, we don't need to do this recall. Protect the win. Let's move forward. That's what Oakland and Alameda County is all about. We're about unity. We're about strength in numbers. We have a right to agree to disagree, but it's wrong for those folks to just banish one lady, especially an African-American woman that broke the barriers over 100 years, and for all these people to discredit her on the work that she didn't inherit. So as grown folks and as people and citizens of Alameda County, let's come together and work for a better cause and not a worse cause. Go win 2024, elect Orlando Johnson, Alameda County Councilman. Thank you.
Hunter Cobb.
Yes, hello. I'm Hunter Cobb of Alameda, and I'm speaking against item 26. First of all, I want to express my appreciation to President Miley and Vice President Halbert. In the last session, they considered this item or this matter weighty enough to vote for a vote against the approval. I also want to express my appreciation to Supervisor Tam, who in an earlier session voted to put off this matter until today's session. Because, I mean, this is a serious matter, I mean, to change the charter of the county, and it should not be done lightly. Now, to the specifics of the matter, the county council has written a letter detailing her argument for eliminating the section 62 of the charter. And you read it and it you know, it makes some sense. But I think there's a bit of a sleight of hand involved in what she says. And I mean, she's trying to make it believe that Alameda County is the one county in the state that has these, you know, this anomalous procedure for recall that's in violation of the state constitution. That's not quite the case, and there are other ways to eliminate the problem of changing, making it in coherence with the Constitution. The thing is, look, we're in the middle of a hotly contested recall effort. There's a healthy outcry from people of many backgrounds about the violence in the county. To change the rules of the game right now, in the heat of the campaign, is not a smart move. Not only would it look bad, it would be bad. So this requires more attention.
Ellen, please state which item you're speaking on. You're on the line.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Great. My name is Ellen Coffey. I work in Berkeley, and there seems to be a lot of confusion, a lot of talk about the need to undermine the win. They're forgetting that we voted for this DA. They're also confusing, on the one hand, that the state constitution should be used in some instances, but ignored in others. The main issue is that we elected Pamela Price. She's doing really good work. The violence in our community has been there a very long time. She's the first elected DA in 68 years. So it seems that rather than working on undermining our democracy, the people wanting the opposition should be working on making our community a safer place. They use the word safe. The other question is, who's paying all these people that are coming from out of state, which is unconstitutional, to gather signatures, getting $10, some $25 for each signature. Where is this money coming from? It's not coming from Alameda County. So there's a whole campaign, but it is a campaign against the kind of justice that Pamela Price brings to our Alameda County. And I want to support the willingness of the board to look at this and to think about this and to realize that this very campaign is undermining our democracy. Thank you very much.
Gerald?
Thank you very much. My name is Gerald Petchenuk. I reside in Lena Sam's district in Oakland. And it's a little background, understanding what I'm going to say. I come from a half Jewish and half Hindu family. And 3 words in Hindu, man ki baat, M-A-N-N-K-I-B-A-A-T, means from the heart. And what I'm saying to you is from my heart to your heart, all of you. And I do think that Supervisors Halbert and Miley have shown they listen to the heart of the people. And I would ask Lena and Supervisor Marquez to listen, not legalisms and all that, but from the heart of the people. Listen to the heart of the people. What would Wilma Chan, what would Richard Baye do? Would they change something that's been there almost 100 years because a recall that's going on and say, we got to change it right now? to your heart. I don't think they would have done that. And when I walked in today to this assembly, man I didn't know said, I feel like I'm in jail. And I said to myself, you know, when I lie awake at night, I jump the second I hear a sound because I think, is it a firecracker or is it a gunshot? So if you, Ms. Marquez and Tam, listen to the heart of your people, you will take my lead and Halbert's approach, I believe. Thank you.
Music, you're on the line. This is the last time. Please unmute your mic.
Juan?
I really thought about what I was going to say, but the best thing that you as the Board of Supervisors can do right now in the middle of this process is to protect the integrity of the elections and provide confidence for the voters. And this is critically important because at the last election, the register of voters failed the voters because they called for the wrong candidate and they just messed up in multiple elections. There was a call and long debates with the Board of Supervisors on how we could conduct a recount, and that never happened. And that was devastating to all the voters that showed up, made time of the day, and wanted to have a voice. With this election, no matter what everybody says here today, the signatures are going to be turned in well before the March 5th primary. That means you guys need to take appropriate steps, and that means three things. Ensure that the register of voters, Tim Dupuy, prepares appropriately along with the county council. It means provide the appropriate funding and make sure that that gets to your desk and you sign and execute on that funding so that this recall can happen, because that's your responsibility. It means that you have the register of voters meet with all these people safe and all the mothers that are pushing hard for their voice and for a recall. That is the three asks that you could do as a Board of Supervisors at this juncture. Thank you so much.
Bruce?
Good morning, Board. First thing I want to say is the homeless problem in Alameda County, we really need to fix that. These monies is being allocated to these people for these programs. These programs are not giving the people what they need. This money they are taking and giving gift cards to people that are addicted to drugs instead of people that are trying to get up and do something. And that's a shame that they're using this money to fund dope dealers. One more thing. When are we going to break J. Edgar Hoover's law from 1967, which put the pressure on every Black organization in Alameda County? Miley, you know about it. Carson, you know about it. What about our organizations? I keep hearing about all these other organizations. Oakland was a funded all-black town. They ran everybody that looked like us out of here. And now they want to be hooping and hollering about they want justice. But what about the crime in Chinatown? What about the crime in Koreatown? What about the crime in Jingletown? But y'all keep putting everything on us because you're still riding up under Hoover's law from 1967. That don't make no sense, that a dead man is still controlling something here. Why is all these dead men still able to have a voice when we're standing here talking to you, begging you? I told you last time, glaucoma, my sight is going. There's no reversing that. So one day I won't see your face, but I'm gonna know your voice. I'm gonna know Oakland because I've been here since 1962. I was born here. I'm a native. When are you guys gonna start recognizing the natives of Oakland? Talking about no slavery. Come on now. We know the birth certificate and social security card, all that money goes to fidelity and reserve accounts. When we die, they get $82 billion from us. But y'all won't recognize it. Y'all think y'all got to say on the problems here. They've been killing us for years. Right here in Oakland. Protect and serve. They took it off the police calls. Because they didn't want to protect us. They want to serve another community.
Oh, 16. I need to remember. Seems like you can go to jail and get a house. You can go to jail and get a job. You can go to jail and get food. You can go to jail and get medicine. We can go back to November 28th, page 2 Oakland Post. Department of Correction, wage increase for inmates who do essential work is not enough, state senator said, by California Black Media. In a notice of change or regulation dated October 6th, the CDCR announced that it is increasing the minimum wage from 8 cents to 16 cents per hour for 339,000 state prison inmates who perform clerical tasks or work in construction, engineering, manufacturing. Inmates who are firefighters for the state will see their hourly pay rate from an annual between $2.90 and $5.13 per hour to one of the range of $5.80 to $10.24. We're talking about slavery. Damn what they talking about. They put dope in our boys' pocket. They doing 25 a lot. For a lot. They try to do me in Detroit. I've been in prison with the rest of my fellows. For my life for nothing because I'm a black man. That's what we're talking about. Crime downtown. I've been down there 35 years. It's been like this in 20 years. It's so bad down there. They committed murder. They came to town with meth, all that shit. They brought crime to town. Quit lying on my people. You destroyed my people. This is wrong. Paramount Fox ain't never had no fences on this building. Now you got fences on this building. Paramount Fox. That's a damn shame. Quit lying on me. You want to just
Hi, my name is Tom Wong. I'm a resident of Hayward. Speak on item 26. I'm opposing it. I was just thinking a little bit more nefarious how this section could actually be used. And if we're unable to recall appointed people, couldn't the person just resign and get reappointed back in? And if Pamela Price resigns and get reappointed back in, then we can't recall her anymore, or anybody else. If we take away the ability to recall people, then we actually lose the ability to vote and represent the people of the community. San Francisco did that. They took away the ability to vote people in, and it became appointed, and then from appointed, they eliminated all the lower positions, like park, water. It all became an appointed position where we can't recall any of them. And now the city has diminished. It was once a shining star that the world can look up to and come and visit and have fun, and now it's a toilet. And it's all because of we've taken away the ability for the people to elect the people that represent the community. And this could be used nefariously by elected officials. And I'm asking you not to do this. Laws are made to govern the government, not its people. And I ask that you don't take that ability away, because this could be used in a nefarious way. So, thank you.
Charles Shannon.
Good morning. My name is Carl Chen with SAFE. I wish that you supervisors and all of us have the happy and safe Thanksgiving. I guess when you get older, you need a bigger piece of paper, right? So I just want you to know that the letter that I received, I just want to magnify it so everyone can see it. So it was dated in September 27 from the ROV, and stating that to dear Mr. Chen, by after reviewing the information submitted, clearly saying that the petitions meet the requirements of the California Election Code and the County Charter Section 62, which specifying, all we need would be 73,195 signatures, and also spelling out the deadline of March 5th, providing us with 160 days. So I just want to make sure that, that everything will not be changed. However, I also want to ask, and hopefully the Board of Supervisors can place an item on the next agenda to seek judicial review of the Charter Section 62 to clarify that the state law overrules the current charter for signature gathering. Okay, so everything we're doing accordingly, both by the state and also the charter, county charter. So I think that is very important. But once again, it is very important for us working together. Okay, and when we're talking about public safety, not only from the people, from the business, from the community, and also law enforcement, but also from the prosecution. But unfortunately, the missing link is on the DA. So we're not doing it, nothing personal. Anyone's not doing their job, we have to do this. So the recall must be going on, and I'll make sure that we will be fast. So we'll get it done as soon as possible. We need the resources from the county supervisor. Thank you.
Joe Raymond.
Good morning. So I'm here to discuss the point of the recall of Donna R. Ziegler, County Council, Alameda County, California. And some of the reasons to be recalled are, well, let me start back. As I said, my name is Joe Ramos. I represent myself. I'm not representing anybody, but I am in one of the school districts in the East Bay. So basically, according with Elections Code 11006 and Section 62 of the Alameda County Charter, we want to inform you the recall of appointed county officer, including any officer appointed in lieu of election or to fill a vacancy by the service, filing, publication, or posting a notice of intention to circulate a recall petition of the officer to recall, in this case, Donna R. Ziegler, County Council, Alameda County, California. And basically, she's trying to remove our right as citizens. So if we find that some of the elected officials are doing something contrary to the law, we have the ability to recall them. And so we're here because we don't want you to deny that. So we'll bring it up that you will recall her and recall this petition that she claimed, because she's trying to get it so she takes our rights away, so we can't say anything. So I could go on talking all day. I'll stop right now. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and we're totally against this, and we will fight it. God bless you.
As a reminder, there are no more speakers.
We thank the speakers for their comments. Supervisor Howard.
Yeah, I just would like to clarify a couple of things. And sorry I'm not in the room with you all, but I am attentively watching. First of all, the ability to recall appointed officials. I'd like to point out, and maybe we can ask the county council to clarify, but the original amendment to the charter did not include changes to that provision. To our county council's credit, the original drafting of the amendment did not include that. It was the board that recognized that that change was not addressed and directed our county council to address it. The second draft of the amendment now includes that, and that's where we're at. I just want to clarify, this is not coming from county council by anything other than the board directing her to do that. The original draft of the amendment did not include that, that component. Secondly, I would like to note that I've always advocated that we have open dialogue with the community, as well as the target of the recall, to discuss the ins and outs of our policies and procedures. It was pointed out to me, however, we cannot provide legal guidance. That's just not our role, and we have to stay clear of that. As a result, our county council provided some FAQs, because, and I pointed out all along in prior meetings, different scenarios can come up, unintended consequences. What if this, what if that? And we just can't address that with legal advice, but we can address it with FAQs. And I do recommend that if we can avoid giving legal advice, that somehow we're able to meet and confer with both sides. I understand that the target of the recall, it has questions, and the DA needs to have those answers. The people that are trying to accomplish this have questions, and they need to have these answers. I'll say that I continue to oppose the current amendment as drafted for several reasons. One, I don't think it's fair to the current DA, the target of the recall. This is her livelihood at stake, and these amendments at this time cause a lot of confusion. I don't think it's fair to the people. As drafted, this takes away their right to recall members of the leadership that are appointed, but it also causes a lot of confusion. So I continue to reiterate my position that we would do amendment changes later after the recall. But then lastly, I would just like to get clarity for both sides, because I've received written comments from both sides that they are unclear about which elements would govern right now, item 62 as amended or not amended, whether the amendments ultimately make it to the ballot and are passed or not. But is there this opportunity for judicial review that was raised today? I don't know, but it seems, and again, only for points of clarity for both sides as to where we stand before we move forward with a March 5th ballot amendment. So I would ask for clarity on that point. All of these comments are related to item 26, but I would also like to state that I want to lift up one of the speakers, Christopher. Thank you for bringing to our attention the items that you raised, and we'll be following up with our staff to understand more about giving gift cards, money cards, and who we're giving that to. So anyway, Chris, thank you for coming again to our meeting and for raising the points that you did. If I could ask the county council though to weigh in on the items that I raised, the amendments as originally drafted, as currently on the table, and as well the opportunity for continuing to meet or continuing to provide FAQs, and lastly, judicial process. Thank you.
So, Supervisor Albert, we'll take up your questions, and we'll have further discussion on this item 26, when we take it up later today. Right now, we've heard from the speakers. We have to deal with the set matter, and then I will just determine whether or not we need to go in a closed session at this point in time. But if we could just hold on your items at the moment, because it's somewhat out of order, but we will definitely get to that. So what I'd like to do now is, first of all, have the board minutes from our regular meeting on October 31st. I'd like to get a motion on those.
I'll move approval of the minutes.
I'll second.
If the motion second, if there are no comments or remarks in the minutes, we'll get your roll call.
Supervisor Halbert,
Aye.
Supervisor Marquez,
Aye.
Supervisor Tam,
Aye.
Supervisor Carson,
Yes.
President Meyer.
Yes. Motion passes. We have a set matter at 11 o'clock. It's in reference to Veterans Day that it's already passed. So I will make some short comments on the resolution, just put it before us. So November 11th, the county has paid our respects and offers thanks to those who have served in the United States military to defend our freedom and our way of life. Time-honored tribute, we celebrate that as Veterans Day. And it began many years ago. We definitely want to pay respect and homage to our veterans. The 11th day and 11th month of 1918 World War I came to an end after 4 brutal years of fighting. 1 year later, America declared November 11th as Armistice Day, celebrate peace and the veterans who fought to make the world a safer place. In 1938, Congress established Armistice Day as a legal holiday to honor those who fought in the war and all wars. However, in the wake of World War II and the Korean War, Armistice Day became Veterans Day in 1954, a holiday to be honored of all wars from the past, present, and future. There are roughly 47,000 veterans in Alameda County. And we definitely recognize the diversity of our veterans and their service in the military and the benefits that they've brought to all of us. They serve as advocates, leaders,
It's what they call the Giving Tuesday. So what I would ask everybody to do, please help supporting your local small businesses or any business you can support, please do that. In addition, we also need your help financially. So please go to, we call, DA Price and supporting us so that we can finish the job. And we want to do it as soon as possible. So we're also asking our county supervisors to provide all the needed resources so that we can do the special election, so we get this all over with. And again, we need to rebuild we build our community being safe. And people are saying that, oh, when you recall the DA doesn't make this safer. No, it's not true. What we're trying to do is this. It's almost like a wildfire. It's burning everywhere. The first thing we gotta do is to stop the fire, and then we gotta rebuild. The rebuilding process is long, okay? So it has a one step at a time. And people are saying, oh, can you, recall the DA price, does it mean that next day will be better? No, it will not. It takes a while to rebuild, okay? Just like anything else. So at this time, again, on behalf of SAFE, I want to thank every one of you. And again, please stay safe.
Recall price, 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 recall price.
Recall
We
price.
want to ask everyone to go to recallpamelaprice.org and donate, please, because we still have a long road ahead of us. I want to just touch on some points here about restorative justice. You can't forget about the real victims here. And also, racial bias, you can't fight racial bias with racial bias. Two wrongs do not make a right. So we need to address this for what it is. And they need to serve the residents, the community, the people of Alameda County. People are dying.
That's right.
Businesses are dying. Our communities are dying. So we need to stand together and say no more, no more, no more, no more, no more, no more. All right, next we have Chris Moore. Chris Moore is with SAFE, and he's part of the leadership. Chris Moore.
Thank you. Yes, Chris Moore, Moore. A lot of people ask, why are we going to recall Pamela Price? Why is it? Her policies are horrible. Folks, take a look at Pam Price directives that she issued in April. She does not prosecute. She refuses to allow her DAs to provide gun enhancements. What's been the result? Robbery with a firearm. It's up 47, almost 50% in our community. You saw down there, right down the street here, the 7-Eleven, 6 guys with guns holding it to the guard, robbing him. You know why? Because they know their anti-Pam will not prosecute them. If they walk up with their fists, it's the same as holding a gun to somebody's head. It's the same as somebody holding a gun to anybody's head here. She is not prosecuting anybody for committing crimes with firearms. What does that happen to the community here? Look at these numbers. If you go back and look at the Oakland OPD numbers in January, when Pam Price started, all these crimes were declining. They were going down. As soon as Pam Price comes in, look at this. Robbery up 35%. Violent crime index, that's homicide, aggravated assault, rape, robbery, up 21%. Folks, she's a disaster. She's burning down this community. Just as Carl said, she is causing wildfires all over this community and is spreading out across the county, and that's why we must recall her. That's why she must be recalled. And what we said today to the Board of Supervisors is this. Our recall, we are going to blow away the 73,000 number with signatures. People cannot wait to sign this. Every day they want to sign this. We're going to blow it away. We're going to submit these well before March. It's going to happen at least a month before March. What does that mean? That means this recall will be a special election under the county charter section 62. So therefore, what they're talking about today, that change, it doesn't matter. What the Board of Supervisors should be focused on is funding, and this is required in Section 62. They need to fund Tim Dupree and the ROV to execute on this election and this recall of Pamela Price. Why do we need to do it? To basically stop the death and destruction of our community.
That's right.
The sooner Pam Price is out, the sooner we can start building.
Yes.
So folks, also please go to recallpamelaprice.org, click on the donate button right up on the top. We need to get rid of this disaster to our community as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price!
Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! All right, next we have Tuan No, and he is the founder of Asians Unite. And the Asian community is under assault. And it's unfortunate because a lot of that crime gets unreported. They don't know how to. They're being targeted specifically because the elderly, a lot of them carry cash. They're not carrying credit cards. They have jewelry, so on and so forth. So these folks are being unfairly targeted. And we need to bring that forward and let the public know that we're all victims here. It's not just the victims of violent crime.
That's right.
We're all victims. Our insurance is going up, property insurance, commercial insurance.
Amen, brother.
Just living in fear is not living, that's surviving.
Amen.
And that's barely surviving.
Yeah.
So we need to put a stop to this. We need to say no more, and we need to recall Price now. Now. Recall Price. 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 All right, now we have the next speaker, Tuan No, and he is part of leadership, but also founder of Asians Unite.
Thank you for being here, everybody. I'd like to also thank the rest of the community uniting as one voice to speak out against the violence and the crimes, because none of us should live in fear. None of us should be victims. None of us should have families that get hurt. None of us should be driving on the streets and get our cars broken into. None of us should not be able to count on safety from our elected leaders. And most of all, we should be able to count on a district attorney to protect us from wrongdoing, from criminal behavior. DA Price has failed us as an entire community. And it's not just because she's new, she's actually been here for a year, and she announced her policy of being soft on crime while she ran for election. The criminals know about it. The criminals are not stupid. So now she lets up 2/3 of the criminals out and loose because there are 2/3 fewer felonies that are being charged under her, 2/3 fewer misdemeanors that are being charged under her. So 2/3 of criminals are victimizing you, me, our families. That needs to stop. The recall is happening and is going to be able, we're going to be able to recall her well before the March 5th deadline to turn in all the signatures that we need. The register of voters need to prepare now because they have over a year to prepare for this recall election. There's no excuse for them not to perform. And the Board of Supervisors need to provide funding, make sure that the register of voters do their jobs, and we can all help this process and stop crime by supporting our volunteers, recognizing that these mothers who truly understand the impact of crime, having lost loved ones, they are our canaries in the mine, and they're telling us we need to just stop what we're doing and we need to exit from this victim crime situation that we're in. And please, everybody, donate to recallpamelaprice.org. We need your support. We need money to make this happen. We need volunteers. Please sign the petitions to recall Pamela Price. There's still time to do it. You can go to the website, recallpamelaprice.org, to look at all the locations we have on the weekends where you could show up with your family and sign and stop this madness. Thank you so much.
Recall Price! 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 All right, next we have Joe Ramos. He's with East Bay School Board.
God bless you all. The Word of God says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. So today I come to speak to you about life. What do we have right here? You've already known what's been going on as last year with the DA, with Price. I'm not even going to dignify it by saying her whole name. But what we have to do is we have to unite. Someone once said that, let me read it for you so I don't forget, mess it up. But they said, the only thing necessary for evil to exist is for what? for good men or women to do nothing. So we're asking you to do something. If not, you're just watching and letting things happen. So Pamela Price got put in there by the powers that be. And she already told you what she was going to do, and she's doing it. And so unless you stop her by recalling her, then nothing's going to happen. Para todos ustedes que hablan español, si votan, tienen que votar contra Pamela Price. Ahorita estoy aquí para levantar la movimiento sobre Pamela Price. So I'm here to motivate you to go do something. If not, like someone mentioned, you're a potential victim. I'm a potential victim. I used to be a volunteer in the jails for 20 years. And I would tell my friends on Monday, they'd say, "What'd you do this weekend?" I was in jail. And they would look at me kind of surprised, and "What did you do?" I said, "I preached." I spoke to them. And they would say, "Well, that's kind of crazy, right? Why would you do that?" And I say, "Because I'm not stupid. And the more people I could touch with the word of God, then they're not going to be out there mugging people. My family, myself, you. So you're going to have to do something. You're going to have to decide. You're either with us or you're against us. You can't be riding the fence. So I ask you right now to consider it deeply and vote for recall of Pamela Price. God bless you all.
Si se puede, we can make a difference together. Si se puede, 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 recall Price. All right, next we have Patricia Harris. Patricia Harris is a mother of a victim. So the holidays, of course, are very tough, even more so for the family of victims. So Patricia Harris.
Good morning. My name is Patricia Harris. This is James Purvis, my husband. We lost our son 3 years ago. He was murdered, and the person was caught on murder charges. Pamela Price came in and pretty much eliminated all of the charges down to nothing and let him out after 2.5 years in jail. Not prison, jail. No probation, no programs. There's no program, no requirement to get a job to be a good citizen. We are here supporting this recall because of that reason, because our son did not receive justice. And the only justice that we can get for him is to have her recalled. She made a statement in one of her many events that the young people are out doing terrible, terrible things and they're not going to get off scot-free, that they'll do 10 years. And that 10 years is a long time. The person that murdered our son did 2.5 years, period. It's not fair, it's not right, and we don't want these other families to go through this. We don't want any families that are out there that it has not happened to happen to them, because it's going to continue to happen under her and her regime.
That's right.
Her prosecutors are not allowed to prosecute. They've been honest with us and said we can only do what she tells us to do. Where is the justice in them not being able to fight for our families, for the victims that have lost their lives? It's just not right. And we pray that everyone supports this recall, that when you see us out there, that you sign up, that you donate, that you give us words of encouragement, because it takes a lot for all of these people to show up. They take off work to show up for this because it's so important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Recall Price!
Recall Price!
Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Now we want to direct everyone, please go to recallpamelaprice.org and donate, because goodwill does not get the job done. We need folks to get out there and do something for our community. And you could do it with your dollars. So please support the action, because this is coming back to you in terms of benefits. And we have to invest in our future. Otherwise, there is no future if we don't take care of business today. And what is the business? Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! Recall Price! I'm Edward Escobar, founder of Citizens Unite, and working with the community for Coalition for Community Engagement and SAFE. And we thank you all for coming here today. And if you have any interest in any one-on-ones, please let us know and we'll set that up for you. So thank you all for coming. And let's continue this recall action to recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Thank you.
That was good. It says both, the California election and the county charter, so you can't.
So basically, what it is.
Xong rồi đi. Xong rồi. Xong chưa này mới ra. Cho mi ra đây nè. Đó. Đây cộng đồng người Hoa. Tới đây ủng hộ Recall Price.
What they're doing today, they are, they're voting in a policy to change from the county charter to the state charter. Okay, so it basically from a recall perspective. So I think what we're upset about is confusing the public. You're going to have in signatures under the county charter. That means that the Board of Supervisors should be focused on enacting and conducting a recall under Section 62 of the current county charter. That's where we should be focusing our time, not on a change in the charter because it's irrelevant to our campaign. And so that is what we're upset about, is that they shouldn't be playing with, what's confusing the voters. They should be focused on funding the recall campaign. It doesn't. It does not matter. So for the primary on March 5th, neither action will impact what happens on the news again. So the only thing that happens on March 5th is the public will have to vote on what the supervisor goes to. So we did an Asian guy. Supervisors put it on the special election, I'm sorry, the primary election on March 5th, then it will go out and that will be law. That's all that it changes. And for us, we're going to submit our signatures in late January, early February. We'll have a recall election before they certify this election, the primary election. So it's just for the future. It's hard. So under county charter, section 62, file our signature petition in early February. There will be a special election on April 9th. Assuming the board pushes it forward and vote for it, but it will be in early April. That's the requirement under section 62 of the county charter. No matter what they do today. Correct. What they're doing today and what they're doing, no matter which way the voters vote on March 5th, it will be conducted under the county. And that's why we're going to ask for a judicial review. So we are going to ask the Board of Supervisors to conduct a judicial review of the current county charter to ensure they execute under what is required today.
There's also talk about, I heard folks talking about how they want to make it.
So, people were appointed, yeah. So what some people are talking about today is that under the state recall code,
It allows for the recall of elected positions, but not for appointed positions. So what a number of the people here are upset about is that, you know, under county charter, you can recall the ROV, or the county council. But under state and what they're pushing forward today under state, it doesn't allow for the recall of appointed positions, only voted positions. And I think that the board's policy on that is they appoint them, so they should be allowed to de-appoint them or take them off. Yeah, that's your.
Anything else to add?
We're in the last 2 weeks, we're just continuing to submit a significant number of petitions. You know, we went from 70 to 80. We have more than 8,000 petitions now. We do need to, we want to gather 110,000, just for the public to know. Keep signing those petitions if you haven't signed yet. I do want to mention also one important thing. If you signed online, that doesn't count. You need to sign a piece of paper for it to count. Everybody needs to know that. So that's kind of the new information that's out there. Okay, that's all. Thanks. Go to recallpamelaprice.org and click on donate. Thanks very much. Appreciate you guys. Okay. Thank you.
Xong luôn vậy.
Yeah.
Đây ông Kho đang phỏng vấn đài số 7.
And in addition, we want to make sure that we also allow charter allowing us to carry this special action. So we don't need to wait until
Just so I understand, you're saying of the signatures that you get, 72,000 plus, not all of them have to be out.
They get the signature together. They don't have to be. But the county, the one who
Let me ask my question. So you'll have 75,000 plus signatures. Some may or may not be out. You're saying that non-Alameda County resident signatures should be out.
So there's two things. So number one is signing so if you're not, then don't we're not involved in whether you're volunteer or you can still this is confusion. The two things. If it was signing in, people get it.
Okay, so let's talk about that. People who are out who like the signature, people who sign the answer. And so your argument is they can be just as long as they're registered voters, it doesn't matter if they're registered, they could even not registered voters. As long as you can say they should be allowed to vote.
Correct. So under the state, in one group, I would have put on. That's why I'm asking Congress to advise me. So that people understand that is part of the rules that I present with the next code.
So that's the state level. What is the county level regarding?
Why can't you? Because like certain thing, the reason why the state, there's some of the so-called that's the reason why. Okay, good. I'm going to give an example. So some people buy property in certain city, and some city charter and maybe in the season our bylaw saying that they will extend charter. So that's why they immediately goes with it. That's the reason why you apply for what is
Right, and I understand that. Thank you. What I'm saying, overall that farmland without Simply sure.
Yeah. So another county saying they have to do it.
So in California law, the way I'm understanding, the way you're explaining it, over 18, you're good. Like Alameda County saying you have to be a registered voter in Alameda County in order to be getting public. And you're saying that they're opposing.
Yeah, so basically, we're not opposing. We want the Congress representative to make that clear. So if we don't have any more conclusion about it.
Right, but it sounds like the county version.
That's the reason why there's a state version.
So you want, would you, I don't mean to help you, as part of you guys not understanding. Okay, so you're saying Alameda County, you have to be a registered voter.
Hello. Thank you.
State constitution and you want this to be political. And you're confident that you're correct.
Oh, yeah.
And why is it?
That's the reason why you have to use it. That's why the state charter to change. The reason why they're changing is to move that is non-constitutional. That's the reason why they make those changes. Overrule whatever.
So the county now wants to change. Yeah.
Right, so that
you guys don't want that.
No. Well, making sure that it was a lot of stuff. So just remember when we are approval,
There might be a whole,
we stated that we are
like, what do you call it in here? Like a word limit? So I'm sorry about that, it's been crazy.
The reason why the votes are being whatever, so not the other vote.
Yeah, and you say it's crazy, but I mean, this stuff too.
Last week, you guys were saying don't do any changes.
Oh yeah, remember there's certain changes, they might be negative, just like for instance, the reason why we are showing the 73,095 signatures, so that is a number already set in stone, okay? So they cannot change it, okay? I do know that, eventually they will try to change it, but we're making it higher. Yeah, so you cannot, it's as low as the most, you're just, okay, you cannot change it, lose or moving the goalpost.
Let me, I don't know if you know this. Pamela Price's lawyer.
Okay. Bà con đã về hết trơn rồi ha. Bà con đã về hết trơn rồi. Đây là những người tổng sống.
More signatures. I hope we get 100,000. I hope we get 100. Right? And we deliver it. When we do that, then they all be like on the same side. Has to respond. You have 10 days to do the signature, sample, and say, okay, we've got 73,000. They want to throw out 10,000 to 20,000. Okay, we still have enough, right? And now they have to.
Còn đây các con của mẹ, vẫn còn đây các con của cha.
Con sẽ về bằng tròn thân xác, con sẽ về bằng hồn phách linh thiêng. Dòng kiều long lên đỉnh Trường Sơn, từ lòng đại dương đến chân trời quê hương.
Trăm con từ khắp tam hương quay về, như ngày nào cùng bọc mẹ ra đi. Vẫn còn đây dung dân tiên rồng, vẫn còn đây cháu con lạc long.
50 người cùng mẹ lên núi, xây vững tranh, còn 50 người vượt đại dương, nguyện cùng cha quyết xây lại quê hương.
Trăm con cùng chung góp màu đào, từ Đồng Đinh về tận miền Cà Mau.
Hẹn gặp lại anh trong một ngày mới, hẹn gặp lại em trong một ngày vui, là ngày giải phóng nước non rạng ngời, là ngày hạnh phúc thanh bình ngàn nơi. Hẹn gặp mẹ cha trong ngày hội lớn, hẹn gặp lại nhau trong ngày Việt Nam, là ngày giải phóng nước non rạng ngời, là ngày hạnh phúc thanh bình ngàn nơi.
Vẫn còn đây trái tim diên hồng, vẫn còn đây máu xương Việt Nam.
Con không hơn dù đời cay đắng, tâm không sơn dù lòng chẳng khăn xô, còn hồn Việt Nam là còn niềm tin, còn người Việt Nam sẽ có ngày quang vinh.
Trong đêm trường phúc sẵn mặt trời, mai bình minh về rồi Việt Nam ơi. Vẫn còn đây các con của mẹ, vẫn còn đây các con của cha.
Con sẽ về bằng tròn thân xác, con sẽ về bằng hồn phách linh thiêng, từ dòng Kiều Long lên đỉnh Trường Sơn, từ lòng đại dương đến chân trời quê hương.
Trăm con từ khắp tam thương quay về, như ngày nào cùng bọc mẹ ra đi. Vẫn còn đây giống dân tiên rồng, vẫn còn đây cháu con lạc long.
50 người cùng mẹ lên núi, xây vững biển lập chiến đấu tranh, còn 50 người vượt đại dương, nguyện cùng cha quyết xây lại quê hương.
Trăm con cùng chung góp màu đào, từ Đồng Đinh về tận miền Cà Mau.
Hẹn gặp lại anh trong một ngày mới, hẹn gặp lại em trong một ngày vui, là ngày giải phóng nước non rạng ngời, là ngày hạnh phúc thanh bình ngàn nơi. Hẹn gặp mẹ cha trong ngày hội lớn, hẹn gặp lại nhau trong ngày Việt Nam, là ngày giải phóng nước non rạng ngời, là ngày hạnh phúc thanh bình ngàn nơi.
Vẫn còn đây trái tim diên hồng, vẫn còn đây máu xương Việt Nam.
Con không hơn dù đời cay đắng, tâm không sơn dù lòng chẳng khăn xô, còn hồn Việt Nam là còn niềm tin, còn người Việt Nam sẽ có ngày quang vinh.
Trong đêm trường phúc sẵn mặt trời, mai bình minh về rồi Việt Nam ơi.
Hẹn gặp lại anh trong một ngày mới, hẹn gặp lại em trong một ngày vui, là ngày giải phóng nước non rạng ngời, là ngày hạnh phúc thanh bình ngàn nơi. Hẹn gặp mẹ cha trong ngày hội lớn, hẹn gặp lại nhau trong ngày Việt Nam, là ngày giải phóng nước non rạng ngời, là ngày hạnh phúc thanh bình ngàn nơi. Hẹn gặp lại anh trong một ngày mới, hẹn gặp lại em trong một ngày vui, là ngày giải phóng nước non. cho quê hương của tôi, nơi bao bất công khắp muôn như trời sao. Hát cho những người dám cất tiếng cho nhân quyền, dù không quên nói. Tôi muốn hát lên cho anh em của tôi, đang bao đớn đau cô đơn trong gông xiềng. Hát cho những người đang dưới ách quân bạo quyền, hát với những người đang tranh đấu cho quê hương. Tôi muốn thét lên cho quê hương của tôi, nơi thiên đường áp bức và cùm công. Hơn 30 năm dưới lá cờ thắm máu. Tôi muốn thét lên cho quê hương ngày nào, sao gục đầu cảm sống không tự do. Hơn 30 năm dưới lá cờ thắm máu. Tôi đang xót thương cho thân em tôi, nơi thiên đường cộng sản không ngày mai. Em phải bán đời mong có tương lai thôi. Tôi muốn hát lên cho quê hương khổ đau, cho em bé thơ xác xơ nơi quê nhà. Hát cho những người bạn đang khát khao nhân quyền, hát với tấm lòng của muôn trái tim quê hương. Tôi muốn hát lên cho quê hương của tôi, nơi bao bất công khắp muôn như trời sao. Hát cho những người dám cất tiếng cho nhân quyền, dù không quên nói. Tôi muốn hát lên cho anh em của tôi, đang bao đớn đau cô đơn trong gông xiềng. Hát cho những người đang dưới ách quân bạo quyền, hát cho những người đang tranh đấu cho quê hương. Tôi muốn thét lên cho quê hương của tôi, nơi thiên đường áp bức và cùm gông. Hơn 30 năm dưới lá cờ thắm máu. Tôi muốn thét lên cho quê hương ngày nào, sao gục đầu cảm sống không tự do. Hơn 30 năm dưới lá cờ thắm máu. Tôi đang xót thương cho thân em tôi, nơi thiên đường cộng sản không ngày mai. Em phải bán đời mong có tương lai thôi. Tôi muốn hát lên cho quê hương khổ đau, cho em bé thơ xác xơ nơi quê nhà. Hát cho những người bạn đang khát khao nhân quyền, hát với tấm lòng của muôn trái tim quê hương. Hát với tấm lòng của muôn trái tim quê